This is the Surly Grognards for January 26th, 2015. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing all right.
Are you surviving Snowmageddon, or whatever they're calling it this time?
I don't care what they're calling it. I'm calling it Ragnarok. Wolves have eaten the sun and moon. I'm jumping on a ship made of dead men's nails. I'm going to go and sail against the gods, and it's going to be fucking awesome. I'll probably switch sides halfway through the fight.
Really, you're going to go outside? And not just sit in your
I'm
apartment?
not going outside. No. I'm getting on a ship made from dead men's nails. I don't have to go outside to do that. I've got a tunnel in the basement.
So you're not just going to sit in your apartment playing video games and watching cartoons on TV?
Yeah, I'll probably do that too.
All right. So we don't have a specific topic tonight because we're lazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought about we had a topic that we were thinking about doing, but neither of us got around to doing the research for it, and
yeah, and it was sort of like, oh yeah, it's fucking Monday.
Yeah, that's the problem. We've both been sort of thinking about, okay, the weather's going to suck tomorrow because snow. It's going to be snowing a lot here in Boston.
Make sure we have supplies of meat, tobacco, and booze to get through the storm. At least that was my concern.
Yeah, I did not I did not purchase anything other than food because that's really all I was worried about. And I had enough in the apartment that I didn't have to do any serious shopping, which meant that I did not go down to the liquor store because that's a longer trip than just going to the nearby place to get a little bit of extra food. So, but Eric apparently went and acquired at some point more.
I had to buy whiskey and tobacco.
So instead, we're just going to talk about, random stuff off the top of our heads, things we've been watching, games we've been playing, et cetera, because, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Especially when we don't have an actual plan. So, I've actually been watching some more anime recently.
Hooray, anime.
As always, I've been following, keeping up with Log Horizon because that's the current running show that I've been focusing on keeping up with.
Yep.
And it's been good so far. This week's was a lighthearted episode, but fun. Wasn't great, but it was not bad. Introduced another new character, goddammit.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're going to end up with a cast that makes Bleach and The Simpsons look small.
Well, if the author can keep on top of the number of characters in this better than Kubo did in Bleach, if they
haven't had the friggin' power creep of doom that Bleach had.
Well, that's because they started out very high.
Yeah.
Also, they have the advantage that it depends if they do as well as Oda does for One Piece. Oda does an amazing job at keeping track of all these side characters he introduces, and then it will randomly go pull. Oh, by the way, remember this character? Here's what they've been up to for a while, and they're important again. Wait, what? You remembered them?
Right.
And wait, you're keeping the characters.
I wish I liked it One Piece. Really, it's like I don't know what it is about the show, but I keep on bouncing off of it. The characters are likable. The animation style is unique. There's a lot to like about it, but something about it just doesn't mesh with me. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
I could definitely see where it gets all its praise, though.
Yeah. At any rate, but the other thing I've been doing is I've been watching an older show that I realized I'd never watched and was completely befuddled by the fact that, wait, I've never watched this show. How did I miss this? I've been watching Rurouni Kenshin, which is an older anime. It came out in about 93, 94, I think.
I don't think it's that old.
Oh, no, it is.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Let me look. I'll double check.
So remember it was being shown on Toonami in the early 2000s.
That doesn't mean it didn't come out.
No, that doesn't mean anything, honestly. But the style feels much more...
All right.
I want to say late 90s. It feels more late 90s to me.
All right. The manga ran from 94 to 99. The anime ran from 96 to 98.
Ha! I know my animation styles. It's mostly just picking. I'm going to be art nerdy. It's mostly just picking up on the techniques and knowing what the technology was available at the time.
Right. But yeah, I've really been enjoying. I've been enjoying it. I'm only about like, where am I? I'm about like 11 or 12 episodes in now. Yeah, I've watched the first 11 episodes. It's set in the Meiji era of Japan, in theory. And it's about a wandering swordsman who is apparently one of the biggest badasses of the imperialists who overthrew the shogunate.
Yeah, I remember my roommate at the time fucking loved the show. And watching a few episodes with him and liking it, but it was never anything I really felt like I needed to devour all at once right now. Partially because streaming anime wasn't nearly as available as it was, so I would have the option.
Whereas you could do that now easily.
Yes.
Also, yeah, it was also the dubbed version, and this was,
yeah,
mid to late to late 90s dubbing, which means it was very hit or miss.
Yeah, there's some great dubs from that era. There's some really fucking terrible ones.
Yeah. This one is, from what I've been reading, seems like it's sort of middle of the road.
Right.
I've been watching the subtitled original language version on Crunchyroll because
why not? And yay, Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm. Crunchyroll has the subtitle version. They also have the dub. I started watching, accidentally clicked on the version that was the dub version, and I was like, okay.
Speaking of anime that I can't believe that we can't believe we missed when it was out, Durarara.
Oh, really?
Which is a retarded fucking name. But I started watching it the other day, and it's like, wow, this is good. How did I miss this?
Yeah, actually, Eric, that is entirely a show that's was going to be in your wheelhouse. I think.
Yeah, it's totally up my alley. I mean, it's got friggin' fey creatures and weird conspiracies and schmuckos just stumbling through that just happen to run into all this crap. It's right up my alley. It's great.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I've not watched all of it, obviously. I caught a bunch of it. It was on the new Toonami because it was on there for a while.
Right.
I like the concept of the headless horseman being a female messenger on a motorcycle.
Yes. I like that the motorcycle occasionally whinnies.
Yes. It's a show I have to. But the problem is I haven't seen it from the beginning, so the few episodes I've seen, I was remarkably confused.
Right. Yeah, I started watching it, I think, Saturday, and I'm like on episode 5 or 6 now. And I was like, this is a show I should have watched a lot more of when it came out in in 2007. I don't know, sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've been I've been watching Rurouni Kenshin. You've been watching Durara. We've both been watching Log Horizon because we're both hopelessly addicted to Log Horizon. Let's be honest.
Fucking El Noah Zero dragged me back in. Because they've got another season on going right now, and I'm like, so much wasted potential, but I can't look away. Like, seriously, the first 4 or 5 episodes of the first season are fucking gold, and then it just sort of starts crawling up its own ass.
Oh man. Was there anything? Have any other anime you've been watching recently?
Not really.
Yeah, I've sort of.
I've been every once in a while. I'll pick something random on Funimation's website or Crunchyroll and watch a couple episodes, but nothing that's really got its claws into me other than the ones I just listed.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Although I've heard good things about Parasite Maximum. I think I'll try that next.
I've heard some good things about Parasite. I think it's going to be one that's more up your alley than mine.
Yeah, it definitely sounds more in my ballywick than yours.
Yeah.
Or not so much heard good things, but read good things. So you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Krempty in the chat, our friend Kaz, says that he's been watching New Sailor Moon. Don't judge him. I wouldn't. I've heard nothing but good things about Sailor Moon Crystal.
I watched a couple episodes of that, and I was like, right, I remember why I hate Sailor Moon. 'Cause fucking Usagi's a useless bitch. Like, oh my god, her and Tuxedo Mask, why are they still alive? They're both completely and utterly useless.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, his girlfriend's, Kaz's girlfriend's a fan.
cool.
That's cool. I actually have no problem with people who actually enjoy Sailor Moon. There are plenty of people, all sides of the aisle who enjoyed it for many different reasons. There are a lot of reasons to like it. It's not my bag. I'm not a big fan.
I used to look at magical girl anime and sort of like no girl, I'm a man, girl. Then I watched Madoka Magic. I was like, okay, there are places that this can go that are interesting. And I tried a couple, and some are okay. Most are crap, much like many genres.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like virtually Sturgeon's law applies to everything.
Yeah,
90% of basically everything is crap. It's just a given. But there are those 10% of basically every genre that's going to be good. So
yeah, and some of them work. Some of them are a whole lot of dreck.
right. So yeah, we both are sort of
Yeah. So I picked up the End Times, the Warhammer Fantasy End Times Skaven book.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned you were going to be doing that because you're addicted to Skaven.
Because I'm addicted to Skaven, despite the fact Games Workshop like friggin' beats the crap out of me at every opportunity. I just can't turn her away anything Skaven related.
This is the one and only way in which you are anything like Tina Turner.
Yeah, no shit.
And Games Workshop is Ike. All right.
Yeah, exactly. But that started me thinking more about this whole end times thing. Is like this, where are they going with this? And I did a little research, and Games Workshop is as ever tight-lipped as a fucking motherfucker.
Right.
But some of the rumors are actually pretty distressing. The general consensus seems to be that Warhammer Fantasy is ending.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way
And
to make sure
they
that I
might
never go back to it.
repopulate it as this, where they consolidate everything down in like 3 or 4 factions as a way to protect their IP. To which I say, so you're going to get rid of the most unique and iconic things in your IP in order to protect that IP. This makes no sense.
It's Games Workshop.
Yeah. But on the plus side, Clan Scry is trying to blow up the moon, so...
Okay. As I said,
Lunatic supervillainy abound, so I'm happy.
I still have a soft spot for Warhammer Fantasy Battle overall.
I really do. I do too. It's just... I've been burned too many times by Games Workshop at this point. Even I cannot forgive them.
Like there's no way I was gonna buy back in anytime soon, anyways. But if they actually do that with Fantasy Battle, then it's like, yeah, I'm done completely, utterly.
I think it's possibly the dumbest thing they could do, but they made a lot of stupid moves. So
yeah,
and they're not good at admitting their mistakes.
Yeah. So, anything else of interest in the book, though?
I haven't read too far into it. Gracer Thanquil has decided that the best thing that he could do is try to get in the Council of 13 because there's a vacancy. So, of course, he's trying to get there. So, of course, he's summoned like 5 Urban Lords to help him. And, of course, that's not going well at all.
Right. Well, duh.
Because it's Gracer Thanquil.
Right.
The guy who managed to fail forward more than anyone else in any fiction I've ever read.
Oh, dear. Well, he is a lunatic supervillain, so...
Absolutely. He is a Silver Age villain through and through.
Oh, dear. I've been dabbling in a bunch of different games recently, computer games mostly. Also played a what was the name of the? I can't remember the name. Played a board game last week with my other gaming group because most of us couldn't make it due to one of us being out of town, the other moving.
Right.
Moving, so we really couldn't do that. I think it was. Yes, it's Forbidden Desert. It's made by the same guy who made Forbidden City and Pandemic.
Oh, Pandemic. Okay.
It's another cooperative game. This time you're a bunch of explorer and adventurers who were on an airship that broke and crashed, and you guys escaped in a helicopter, which also crashed in the desert. And you're trying to recover all the pieces for your airship so you can fix it and get the hell out of there. But there's a sandstorm that's blowing things all over the place, and you got to avoid, basically.
Sandworms and lizard hounds and
none of that. It's actually the hazards are being buried in sand and running out of water.
Excuse me.
It's a good game. We enjoyed it immensely. We died. We were unable to beat the game.
Right.
But it's a fun game. It's another one I recommend.
Cool.
Also picked up a couple other computer games. I've been playing. I played a little bit of the single player campaign of Warhammer Machine Tactics.
It can be frustrating.
Yeah, I got to the one where you have to defend the terrain.
That's a breaking point for everyone, it seems.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, and you've got a small squad, and here's some guys attacking from over here, there's some guys attacking over here. There's this guy that you can save from coming from a different angle is being chased by more guys. What? Why are you making me fight on 3 fronts, you assholes?
I actually found it's actually not that hard once you send, if you send a couple trenchers booking over to the gun mage, and basically sacrifice him to get him back while you hunker down and just shoot guys as they come to you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
So
that was after doing it the first time. That basically was my theory. I just didn't get around to doing it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the way I did it anyway. I also have a tendency to spend the lives of my men like water. Skaven player.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that a little bit. I have yet to play the head-to-head version. Eric and I will be doing that most likely at some point during the week.
Yes.
Because,
Siege versus Butcher needs to happen.
Yeah. And you will probably see Eric kick my ass. Because I have not played. Eric has played more recently than I have. I'm rusty as hell. Also, yep.
The tabletop game is actually differs significantly in that everyone's a solo.
Right.
So
everyone is at points.
There's weirdness in there.
Yeah, it'll be different. Also, some of my favorite troop types aren't in the game, so.
Yeah, I've got the same problem. No Demo Corps, no Doom Reavers, no Widowmakers.
No long gunners. Boo. I'm gonna miss my long gunners. God damn it.
Yeah, I've got the Winter Guard, but I don't have the Winter Guard unit attachment, which is what really makes them fucking sing. So.
Yeah. But yes.
And no Manhunters. Holy crap. So many of my builds need fucking Manhunters in them.
Right. So, yeah, we'll be doing that at some point this week. And I'll stream it. Although it's a weird game to stream. Also, Word and I have been fussing around with Battle for Wesnoth, which is a free turn-based strategy game that's been around for about 8 years now, I think. Been playing some co-op games against the computer. And that's been fun. I highly recommend Wesnoth. It's, again, free. And it's got quite good pixel art for the sprites. With cute little clever animations for a lot of them. There's a very nice single-player campaign built around the human faction. Basically, the single-player campaign, the default one, is you're basically the heir to the human throne. Your empire gets squashed by the orcs, and you flee to the elves, who basically form a rebellion with you, and you basically try to take back your kingdom.
Are orcs playable in the multiplayer?
Oh yeah.
Oh well, then I guess we know what faction I'm playing.
The factions that you can play as in the game in multiplayer are the orcs, otherwise known as the Northerners, the Loyalists, which are the humans, The rebels, which is the elves, they got a couple of human support. The dwarves, who are I forget their name. They've got an actual name. Who also have some human backup who are sort of thiefy roguey types.
Huh.
The undead.
Because of course.
And the drakes, which are basically sort of humanoid dragony types with some lizardmen allies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually, the drakes are a lot of fun. I like all the factions in their own way. They're all fun to play. The elves are unsurprisingly infuriating if they're in the forest.
Ah, fucking elves.
The orcs are really good. The orcs have inexpensive troops and are really dangerous in certain terrain types. The basic orc troops, they've got an orc swordsman type who
Right.
are tough and hit hard. They've got orc archers who are competent. Nice thing about them, they've got access to fire arrows. They've got goblin wolf riders who are fast and are okay melee attackers. They can recruit Naga. The humans have I think the elves and maybe the humans have access to mermen. The Naga or the mermen's hated enemies. So
as they always are.
So they work for the orcs.
Yay, orcs!
Yeah, the orcs also get trolls.
Awesome.
And they get the schmucko goblin troops who don't cost upkeep when you recruit them. But they're kind of crappy.
So you just throw them at people.
Right.
They're...
The interesting thing about the game is that when units fight, they earn experience, and they get more experience if they get a kill. Though the amount experience you earn is dependent on the level of the enemy you beat.
Right.
When you hit a certain point, you level up. The unit heals fully and gets promoted to the next unit type up. And sometimes they branch.
Huh.
It's actually really cool. The victory condition is you have your general, which is a level 1 version of one of your basic troop types, level 2 version of one of your basic troop types, and you lose if your general's killed.
Sack the quarterback type of deal. Okay.
But yeah, your general, basically, in order to recruit troops, your general has to be in a castle, and then they can recruit troops there. So your general often doesn't actually go out and fight. At the start of the game, they're one of your best fighters. Which I think is actually, it's one of those little sort of dichotomies that's kind of fun. But the nice thing about it is that they can recruit in any castle as long as they can get to the keep room.
Okay.
So if you take out someone else's general, you can send your general up to their castle and recruit from there.
Cool.
And you capture towns, and the towns provide money, and your troops all require income, require money to support.
So it's more like a big extended campaign rather than just like a single battle type of deal.
Well, the multiplayer game is a single player campaign. It's just a one shot game. Taking towns, you move a unit into the town, it's yours until someone else takes it.
Cool.
It's a nice simple game. It's fast. It's fast for a turn-based strategy game. There's no research or anything like that. It's just literally build units, go out and fight, take towns, pay for them.
Gotcha.
Hopefully level some of them up.
Okay.
But yeah, the orcs have that stuff. The elves have access to various LV types, like elven sort of cavalry, elven melee fighters, elven archers, and tree men. Effectively, they're called woes. Tree men are so
to me.
The woes are infuriating in some ways because if they're in the forest, you can't see them unless you're adjacent to them.
Right. So you can't see them unless they're beating the fuck out of you.
Right.
Gotcha.
The drakes are the really interesting thing is that basically terrain determines how easy it is to hit you, depending on what type of terrain you're in, and depending on what unit the terrain will modify what. Like elves are harder to hit in the woods.
Right.
Orcs are harder to hit in the hills. Drakes. So the way the drakes work is most of the drake troops are expensive, hit incredibly hard, and get a bunch of attacks, and they're very mobile because most of them fly. The drawback is they're fucking easy to hit, and they're expensive. Oh, there's one other important mechanic that I forgot to mention. Which is that the time of day modifies damage your troops do, depending on what their alignment is.
Oh, nighttime bad guys hit harder.
Daytime good guys hit harder, and then there are neutral troops who don't have it. So basically, if you're chaotic, you get a bonus to damage at night and a penalty damage during the day, and during dawn and dusk you have no penalties
Right.
or bonuses. If you're lawful, the exact opposite. If you're neutral, your damage is flat across the day.
Okay.
So the Northerners, the orcs, are all chaotic. The humans are all lawful. The elves are mostly neutral.
Huh.
The dwarves are mostly neutral. The undead are mostly chaotic.
Right.
They're all chaotic, actually. The drakes, interestingly enough, the drakes themselves are lawful, and the saurians, who are their lizardmen chumpy troops, are chaotic.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So they got this weird thing. So their troops, half their troops are good in the daytime, and half of them are good at night, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there are little other things, like your troops can heal up if you basically spend an entire turn doing nothing, they heal up a little bit. If they start their turn in a town, they heal up even more. If they've got the regeneration trait, they heal up at the start of every turn no matter what.
Right.
They heal some. There are also troops that have the healer keyword, which means they heal whatever their number after their healer number. Every troop adjacent to them.
Oh.
For that much. So, like the Saurian Augur has healing 4, so it'll heal 4 points of damage to any ally adjacent to it at start of each turn.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is. It's a clever little game. We'll have to play it at some point.
Yeah.
And as always, the first game I do with someone who's new to the game is to do a co-op game against the computers.
Of course.
Because
of course, that's how you do it.
It's also a lot of fun. The computer's not terrible at the game in terms of how it moves its troops. Usually, its choices of troop recruiting is sometimes dubious, and sometimes they get a little bit too aggressive with some troops. But
Right.
It's usually very good at going to, okay, I need to level this guy up, so I'll hit this guy so soften up a troop with this guy so I can finish off the guy I want to level up. And that guy's about to level up and is hurt. I'll try to kill him off before he can level up, etc.
That's one complaint I have about War Machine Tactics is the skirmish mode. You just fight a battle against the computer.
Yeah.
Without being tied to the narrative at all. The AI is dumb as a stump. I mean, they've improved it. It's no longer suicidally stupid. It's just regular stupid.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's nothing quite like watching friggin' Denegar run up like 2 spaces away from the butcher in order to stab a warjack. I'm like, you know, butcher's right there, right?
he's going to cut your... Oh, never mind. Yeah, actually, that's sort of what happened to the Elven General at the end of the last game Word and I played. She came out of the castle to attack somebody, and I'm like, she came out to beat the fuck out of one of my leveled drakes. And I'm like, you didn't kill him, and he's sitting there, and I've got another drake, Arbiter, who's the leveled up drake, sort of pikeman type, right there, who's going to fly up, and the two of them will just blow you the fuck up.
This does not strike me as being terribly tactically sound.
Yeah, she was an elven sorcerer, so she walked up and goes, "Magic!" Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, ow, that hurt. I'm not dead. And I'm sitting in a town, so I'll heal up 8, and now hit you with my pike. You're not dead yet. The other Arbiter comes in and stabs her to death. Game over.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that was interesting. That was an interesting tactical choice. But yeah, if you're interested in checking out Wesnoth, you can find it at www.wesnoth.org. It's free. It's available for Mac, PC, and Linux. So
it's available for everything. Basically,
it's available for basically everything, and it's free. And if you like turn-based strategy games at all, or are interested in trying one out, you can't beat the price beyond them paying you to play it, and they won't be doing that. So I've been playing that a fair bit. I love that game. It's one a friend of mine introduced me to 5 or 6 years ago, and I played it a bunch, and then I forgot about it for a while, and remembered it like last week. I'm like, oh right, I forgot about Wesnoth. I should play that again.
I started another playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. where instead of playing a Quinari who's just sort of like, dude, guys, I'm not Dragon Age Jesus. Seriously, stop it. But who's overall a good guy. I'm now playing a complete prick of a dwarf rogue. I'm going to do everything opposite that I did with the Quinari. So I'm going to, like, support the Templars, and I'm going to, like, knock the Emperor, the Elysian Empress off the throne, and I'm going to do this thing and that thing. I mean, basically, the other half of my party is going to hate me.
Right. I've been playing a bit of World of Warcraft also because I'm hopeless that way.
Yeah, I've started playing a bit of Star Trek again. So
Star Trek's a good game.
yeah, I'm flying around my battle cruiser. Still not 60 yet.
Yeah,
from 50 to 60 is a long slog.
yeah, I kind of figured it would be. Let's see, anything else I've been playing recently? I've been playing Divinity Original Sin, obviously, with Word. We've been doing that in the stream a fair bit. That's been fun. Very good turn-based role-playing game. I recommend it highly, although it is hard.
Mm.
The status effects. Oh my god, the status effects. So many status effects. Also, it's got this one really awesome thing in the game, in that, like, different, like you occasionally will, like, create, like a train effects, effectively. Like, you know, if you like create like a steam, some things will create a steam cloud or like an oil slick or anything like that. And if you've got like a corresponding, if you make an elemental attack of something else into that area, it can cause secondary effects.
Oh, cool.
So like if you fire a fire attack at somebody who's standing on oil, it'll set the oil on fire.
Nice.
Creating a fire area. Or if you have like a poison gas cloud flowing in an area and you hit it with a fire attack, it'll explode.
Oh, huh.
Or if someone's standing in water and you hit them with electricity, it'll stun them. Note that your pools of blood, especially like even your own, if you get hit with a bleeding attack and causes a bunch of blood to fall on the ground, that'll count.
Mm.
So I've had my character stunned because he was standing in his own blood.
And that happened fighting a dragon in Dragon Age. Dragon had a lightning breath weapon, and it fights you in these these sort of like not sulfur pools, but like in this marsh.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not realize that when it strafed me with the lightning attack, that it's electrocuted the water. Yeah, so I died. And then I needed to figure out where I could lure the damn thing so that when it tried pulling that shit again, I could jump up out of the water.
That's great. Oh god, it's such a pain in the ass. But yeah, there's so many.
Seriously, the dragon fights in Dragon Age are suitably epic. They're actually a lot more fun than the actual last fight.
That doesn't surprise me. What else have I played? I also played Aperture Tag, the Paint Gun Testing Initiative, which was a mod for Portal 2. Cost like $6 or $7. It's a whole new set of test chambers and such, where it's basically based around the paint gun from Tag the Power of Paint, which was the game that inspired the gels and such in Portal 2. So you've got this gun that can spray out either the orange or blue gel.
Oh, cool. And
you don't have a portal gun or anything like that. And it's a bunch of testing chambers and such for that. It's actually really cool.
Huh.
It's not the best thing ever, but I enjoyed it. And I got it on sale, so I got it for like $3 on sale on Steam. Totally worth that.
Nice.
But it requires you to have Portal 2, so.
Right. And if you don't have Portal 2, what the hell's wrong with you? Go buy that. Seriously, that game's a lot of fun.
Portal and Portal 2 are two of the best games I've played in the past 5 years. I mean,
they're great games. They're lots of fun. Brilliant fucking writing.
Yes.
Oh, fancy beating you here. How are you doing? Me? I'm a potato.
So, yeah.
Look at you, sailing through the air, like an eagle, piloting a blimp.
It's a good dig.
I love GLaDOS.
She's awesome in her awful, evil sort of way. Yeah, so let's see what else has been going on. Not much has been going on in terms of role-playing games for either of us because we basically didn't do anything last week.
Yeah.
Either of us in any of our games, I think.
No. No. Yeah, because I was still recovering from the death plague on Tuesday. And on Saturday, well, you guys are here, then you were watching us play Fibbage.
Yeah, we got together with the people who were still in town for the game, and some other people on stream over on WordStream and played Fibbage and Drawful.
Yep.
And that was a blast.
That was actually lots of fun.
I mean, yeah, the people who you don't know Jack, and therefore these games, they know how to write fun games like that, fun party games.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing that. Lots of laughs were had. Was a good time, but we didn't actually, do any role-playing games this week. And as I said, my Thursday group, we had multiple people out of town for the day. So one of them was moving, so they were in the process of moving, so they really weren't available. And the other one was in Texas, I think.
Yeah. And there's no game tomorrow because Ragnarok.
Right. So yeah, we're not having our usual Tuesday game because snow, lots of snow.
One of these days, this fucking campaign's going to get up off the ground.
Lies!
We've been trying to do a new space opera game instead of pirates, doing more like explorer mercenary type deal. And yeah, shit keeps on happening, keep the thing from ever happening.
It just hasn't gotten off the ground yet. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked. Like, there was, like, the month of, like, trying to hash out exactly what we wanted to do, and then what kind of world we wanted to do, then designing races, then character design, then people got sick again, and now there's Ragnarok.
So, yeah, even for a group like ours who we meet every week and hang out, we're all friends, and we try to get games going. Even us, we have problems sometimes getting games off the ground.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We've been trying to do this for almost 2 months now.
It's amazing. So yeah, take that to heart, guys. If you're having trouble getting a game off the ground, don't worry. It happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody.
Oh, wow. So one of the thoughts I had for what we might do today, and I decided I just didn't have the energy to do it today, although we might do it at some point, was doing another sort of live campaign brainstorming session idea. But this time focusing on science fiction.
Yeah, we could totally do that.
So I'm thinking we might do that next week.
I'm down with that.
All right.
I'll make sure I have enough alcohol to do that properly.
So, folks, just letting you guys know, that's probably what we're going to do next week, is we're going to do a live campaign brainstorming session here on the stream.
One of these days, we're going to actually, like, play one of these things that we brainstorm.
Yeah, honestly, the fantasy game is one that I think we should do at some point, because I think it worked out really well. That was one of our... It's a good campaign idea, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. If we do say so ourselves.
And we do. No false modesty on that one, honestly. No. Let's see. What else is going on? No Doctor Who.
Yeah, no new Doctor Who.
No new comic book movies or comic books or TV shows.
I started rereading Saga today.
Cool.
Because I needed something to read for work, and I realized I've read everything in the house again. So I decided I haven't read Saga in a couple months. I'll bring that along.
Cool.
This is a great comic book series.
Yeah.
You should all be reading it right now.
After the show.
After the show.
I got a question for you, Eric, actually.
Okay.
Mentioning reading stuff. Did you ever get around to actually reading the copy of The Wizard of Earthsea I lent you?
Yes, actually. I need to get that back to you.
What did you think?
There's something weird about the prose I'm not sure I entirely enjoy. But everything else is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I think it's because of the way it's intentionally structured. to be sort of like almost like an oral saga type thing.
Yeah, yeah. I did kind of get that feel from it. And once I got into that kind of groove, I enjoyed it. But it wasn't what I was expecting. It took me a while to sort of... It was like reading Clockwork Orange, where you like have that like practically another language worth of slang you've got to friggin' translate into your head.
Right. But yeah, I thought, isn't it a fascinating concept?
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. And the bit with the bit with the dragon was friggin' hilarious.
Wasn't it?
Yes.
The main character, Sparrowhawk, is fantastic. I just love the way he actually matures through the course of the book, because he does. He totally just like gets.
He's such a fucking prick in the friggin' academy.
He
totally deserves everything coming to him.
Absolutely,
he is an absolute cockbag.
And he learns from it, though. That's the best thing.
He learns from it, and like he does not deserve the one friend he makes there, but he totally makes up for it later on.
Yes, he totally makes up for the fact that he's like, okay, no, I'm going to be that friend.
Yeah,
the friend that the other guy deserves.
Yeah,
because the other guy,
yeah, the dude's a fucking saint.
So it's a really interesting book. Ursula K. Le Guin's brilliant. She's brilliant, honestly.
Yeah. The bit with the sort of weird cult of the stone was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Especially because I was like, there's something wrong here. And I figured it out around the time that Sparrowhawk is. Like, there's something wrong here.
It's a really interesting... but you can see where I got ideas for the current.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the shadow that's chasing and being chased the whole time, and the weird sort of amorphousness of it, and the way it sort of like shifts and changes to whatever is easiest at the time for it.
Right.
Like it's a great foil.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be. It's near as I can tell, it's actually like evil shadow version of Sparrowhawk, but
yeah, you should track down the at least the second book at some point, because the Tombs of Atuana is really it's told Sparrowhawk shows up in it,
right?
But he's not the main character.
Oh, cool. Okay, I can dig it.
And the last book is The Farthest Shore. Is interesting. It's again, he's not the main character, but he's in it, and he's much older at that point.
Right. Yeah, because it's basically telling this sort of oral this oral saga of like, and this is what he was like before he was cool.
Right. That's the thing. Wizard of Earthsea is the Sparrowhawk going from being this cocksure, arrogant.
Farmer. Seriously, he's just a goat farmer.
Yeah, he starts out as a goat farmer, starts learning magic. Turns out he's immensely talented at it. Goes to the academy, becomes this arrogant cockbag of a prick.
Yeah.
And then he basically screws up monumentally, learns from it, and basically goes on to become, because the whole thing is, you're told at the beginning that he is like one of the greatest wizards of all time.
Yeah.
And this is sort of him growing into that.
Yeah, because he's all right when he's with his initial master.
Yeah, he's just impatient.
But yeah, he's just a little impatient. But then he goes to the academy and he's just like, dude, fucking stop being a dickwad. Seriously, the Jasper guy didn't seem that bad until he started treating him like a dick. Like, Jasper might have been kind of an arrogant little wanker, but seriously, didn't deserve half the shit you did to him. It's easy enough to ignore him. I mean, seriously.
Yep. It's a fascinating read. I recommend it highly. I've been rereading a bunch of the Nero Wolf mysteries by Rex Stout because I enjoy mysteries and I really enjoy Stout's writing. I've mentioned Nero Wolf on the stream before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I'm fairly certain you have.
So the basic sort of the really interesting thing premise about Wolf, I just want to mention this is the Nero Wolf books are sort of almost like Nero and Archie are the two main characters of the book. It's told from Archie's point of view, and it's this really interesting dichotomy between the analytical genius detective who doesn't do any physical work, and a traditional sort of hard-boiled detective from like that style of books. It was Archie. Except that Archie is a competent detective in his own right, and the two of them are in many ways sort of like the two halves of Sherlock Holmes. Wolf is the intellectual half. Archie is the more sort of proactive half. Because Holmes definitely was not a sort of ivory tower detective.
No, absolutely not.
Unlike his brother, Mycroft.
Yeah.
Wolf is actually a lot. I've heard people talk about like Wolf is the two halves of Wolf and Archie are the two halves of Holmes. I always looked at Wolf as almost more a combination of Mycroft and Hercule Poirot.
Another great detective.
Oh God, yes, I love Hercule. As a random aside, if you guys have never seen the televised mystery series that was done by the PBS station, the PBS series Mystery, I think it's actually originally a British production of the Hercule Poirot stories with David Suchet as Poirot. They're so worth watching. They're really good. Suchet is great. As was the Sherlock Holmes ones they did, because, oh my God, Jeremy Brett was amazing. Oh.
Of course, Mycroft did put together the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so...
Oh, Mycroft was one of the best parts of that book.
For all the 30 seconds he shows up.
But he was great in those 30 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know, I got a lot of love for Hyde in those books.
I'm not as big a fan of Hyde in those books. Well, again, I really love the first trade of that. I'm not as big a fan of the second one as you are.
Yeah, fair enough.
I didn't dislike the second one, but the first one was just so brilliant.
Yeah, they're both really good, and the second one also has Martian tripods. Who doesn't love Martian tripods?
Well, the second one is all basically in which almost everything goes completely wrong.
Yeah, everything goes fucking like sideways, then pear-shaped, and then it shits all over itself and explodes, and then you get to watch Hyde be horrible, and horribly awesome is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, probably. Oh God. So yeah.
Or awesomely horrible? Not sure.
I don't know. But yeah, I believe Extraordinary Gentleman. It's not my favorite of blanking his name all of a sudden.
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore's stuff. But it's good. I enjoyed it.
I've read a lot of Alan Moore's stuff, and he's surprisingly hit or miss.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he just ends up like crawling up his own ass and like completely just spouting nonsense and bullshit, and I think I'm going to draw 15 vaginas on this page because no one will tell me no. This actually happened.
I'm not surprised.
And sometimes it's like fucking like V for Vendetta or Swamp Thing, like levels of kick-ass and good. Or Watchmen. Although Watchmen, upon rereading it, isn't as good as it once was. It's outlived its awesomeness.
I've been saying this for how long, Eric?
Yeah.
People refuse to believe me, and then they reread it and go, yeah, it's not as good as I remember it.
It was still great, and it's incredibly innovative.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't hold up as well over the ages.
It holds up better than The Dark Knight
fucking
Returns.
Dark Knight, yeah.
Oh my God, does it hold up better than Dark Knight Returns?
And rereading The Dark Knight Returns, knowing what you know about about Frank Miller, you're like, yeah, dude was a fascist dickhead back then, too.
He just hit it better.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's just it's not. It's nowhere. They're both massively important comic books, but
Yes, and everyone should read them just because they're important, and they're still good. They're just not the
end all be all.
yeah. They don't hold up as well.
They if you go into them reading them as a deconstruction of the comic books prior to them, they're still very worth reading, especially Watchmen.
Yeah.
I will say that of Moore's stuff, I think V for Vendetta is probably his best work.
V for Vendetta is pretty fucking
That
awesome.
and Swamp Thing. I'm also a huge fan of at least the first two trades of Top 10, but I would say it's as important.
No, it's not as important. The top 10 is much more Alan Moore just having fun.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It's a good thing.
Whatever Happened to Man of Steel is also pretty good.
I've heard good things about that.
Partially because of the story involved, as to how that got written. The story is apparently someone was saying we want to do a story about like the end of Superman's life and how it affects everyone, and someone was talking about this to Alan Moore, and he promptly jumps up in the middle of the diner, grabs the man by the lapel, starts shaking him violently, screaming, "You have to let me do this!"
Yeah, that sounds like Moore.
Excuse me.
Because Moore is a lunatic.
Yeah, he's batshit insane and always has been.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Let's see what else. But yeah, I've not been reading as many comic books recently. I've been reading a lot of Nero Wolf and rereading some of the Eric Flint's 1632 books.
Right.
Because I enjoy those. They're fun. They're fun speculative fiction. What if you were dropped a bunch of mine workers from the late 1990s West Virginia into the 1630s in Germany?
And hilarity ensues. Yeah, I remember when those books came out, Matt Gertman was all over them.
Yeah, I can believe that. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're not high art, but they're fun. I recommend them. Honestly, the first one's probably the weakest of the bunch. Weirdly, well, it's not the weakest of the. It's the weakest of the important ones, I should say. They're a bunch of sort of side because it's a world that a bunch of different authors have been playing in now. Some of them are better than others.
I can believe that.
But it's a sort of collaborative world now, and it's actually kind of neat.
Cool.
The ones that take place that are primarily set in Italy, the start of the Galileo affair, are fucking hilarious for the most part.
Nice.
Basically, a group of the Americans from Uptime. Basically, they end up teaming up with Gustav Adolphus and creating the United States of Europe. Basically, with him as the constitutional monarch, effectively.
Cool.
It's actually kind of awesome. So he's basically the sort of the constitutional monarch, but he's still like each of these separate sort of principalities in the thing can have their own forms of government.
Cool.
So he remains king of Sweden. So Sweden is still a monarchy, depending on which part of it it could be a full democracy, it could be etc. Anyways. So they send a diplomatic mission to Venice at the start of the book. Along with, and there's a group of kids who go down with them because they're the sons of one of the best quote scientists. He's not actually a proper scientist. He dropped out before he got his PhD in the '60s because he's a hippie. But he's a brilliant chemist because he as he says a couple of times, I made LSD in the '60s. Which is not easy. But he's actually a really decent guy, and his kids are actually kind of clever. They lived on a commune for a long time. They're funny. But anyway, so they get mixed up with a group of sort of radicals in Venice, who basically sort of like have gotten sort of into the whole freedom of religion, democracy sort of angle that the United States of Europe has been pushing.
Right.
And they're fervently behind that, and he ends up falling. One of the oldest of the three kids' sons falls in love with the daughter of the leader of that little group there. They eventually get hitched. No big deal. Not surprising. But the family there, the Marcolis, who are the leader of it, are kind of loopy and kind of madcap, but also, dangerously competent in their own way. But so this is happening around the time that Galileo was arrested and was going to be put on trial by the Vatican. And so they decide that they must free Galileo from the Vatican, from the Inquisition. So they go off to Rome to do that, and hilarity ensues.
Hooray, hilarity!
And it's pretty fucking funny.
All right.
Because Galileo was, under house arrest and wasn't really in danger of being, killed or anything like that. It's actually really funny. It's a good read. And the one after that is them basically it's entirely set in Rome. And
Stuff and things.
Yeah, they get it's set in Rome. Eventually, there's a plot against the Pope and all this stuff. It's amusing.
Cool.
Anywho, I recommend the series. They're a lot of fun. Anyways, I think that's about it for this week, though. I mean, we're kind of.
I think we've been.
We're beginning to really ramble now, and normally we save time to each show for viewer questions that they send in, but we don't have any this week.
Also, we kind of lost track of time and kept rumbling.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so we have no questions this week, so I let us keep rambling because we didn't have any questions. Anywho. So, but we do try to save the time at the end of each show for viewer questions. If you've got any questions you'd like us to answer in the show, please feel free to email them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or you can post them on our forums, which you can find at mechagm.forumer.com. We record the show every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/mechagm. I tweet out when the show's about to go live, so keep an eye on my Twitter, which is @mechagm, and you'll know when the show's about to go live, or we have to postpone for a week, or if we're going to take a week off, or what have you, we're going to go to later in the week, etc., etc. If you've got feedback for us, or constructive criticism, how we can make the show better, feel free to email it to us or post it on the forums. We love getting that stuff immensely.
Yeah, that shit's fucking awesome, guys. Seriously, do that. Do that all the time, forever.
Yep, and if you've got show topic suggestions, please feel free to send them to us at the same places. We love those even more than we love constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And we love the constructive criticism a lot.
Wicked lot.
Muchness and muchness. So yeah, other than that, though, I think that's going to do it for this week. Sorry we didn't have a constructive topic this week. As we said, we got sort of, distracted by the weather.
We got sidelined by the continued and predictable movement of time.
All spent that we knew that there's a blizzard coming in. We were all kind of distracted by that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not going to be that bad. Anyway, guys, everybody, thanks for watching. We love having you guys here. We'll hope to see you next week when we're going to be doing a live brainstorming session on building a science fiction campaign world. So look forward to that, guys. So until you guys see you next, take care and keep on gaming, guys.
Bye, humans.